Well, today there's a strong push for an independent audit into government's redevelopment of prime state lands across the Greater Accra region. The coalition of the land associations say in a bid to prioritize and also optimize the use of public lands, cantonment and Labone and other parts of the Greater Accra region, earmarked for the redevelopment of the public bungalows and also housing units, there will be a need for government to carry out an independent audit. A statement released by the Works and Housing Ministry has fought off claims that the policy is a land-grabbing move, adding that the redevelopment of the program dates back as far as 1992. But before we get into the details, here's a report capturing the concerns of this group.
Brick and mortar, the key ingredients giving life to government's redevelopment program. These men at work have a simple task: to optimize government's prime lands, especially this building at Labone in Accra. Although government says it aims to provide more accommodation for the ever-growing number of public servants, concerns are emerging about transparency and the possibility of a land grab. At the work site, I met Jeffrey Tete, spokesperson of the Coalition of Law Associations, the allodial owners of this prime land.
This is a very beautiful idea which has been in place for quite some time. I am told since 1992. Unfortunately, the problem we have with this particular redevelopment scheme that government is undertaking is that once they develop one or two of the units, the rest of the whole estate is sold out to private hands. And this is where the issues come up. We want government to come clear, and our call now as Alodia owners, since we gave out the land, the people of like gave out the land to government for housing purposes for government officials, we want to get an audit. We want government to come up with an audit of all government facilities, talking about housing facilities. We want an audit so that we will know how many government has redeveloped, how much has been given to private hands, and if they say it is not in private hands, then together with government we can go around and check it. And I'm happy the media is doing this. We all go around, tell you the story, you get to know, you let the whole world know what is happening so that government will come clear.
Our next stop was the Roman Reach community. This property, according to government sources, used to house former senior members of the judiciary. Assembly member for the area, Adam Yusuf, tells JoyNews although the initiative is laudable, it should not be handed over to private individuals after its development.
Property, one tenant, and that tenant was a prison officer. And then now, as you can see, we have about 6 units property here, which can house about 3 directors from the same unit or from a different government unit, and which is laudable because the land size of this area over the years was like an acre, but you have a single house, a very small, tiny house in the building. But now, if it's redeveloped, you can take more people, yeah. Unlike other places, it takes about 8, but this one is single unit.
Wow, and would help, definitely.
This thing will really help.
Except that you fear that it shouldn't go into private hands.
That is our fear, because as you can see at the other side, we have a lot of private developers also pursuing to grab those properties from the state. And to me, I don't advise that the state should lose it to the private developer, because they will in turn use it for business and make millions of dollars out of the business, whilst the state officials will be struggling.
This housing unit you see here at Labone, one of the prime areas within the Greater Accra region, forms part of government's redevelopment policy. The Works and Housing Ministry explains that it forms part of a broader policy to optimize the use of prime state lands. Upon completion, this very facility with work underway will serve as the primary residence for senior state officials, ministers, superior court justices and other officials of government and the civil service. Blessed Sugan reporting for JoyNews, Labone, Accra. And I'm back here in the studio bringing together my colleague Michael Ashale, who's also
looking at the details of the statement from the Ministry of Works and Housing. Let's get to it. First off, Michael, what's the response from the ministry in terms of allegations of collusion to sell some of these properties, which we understand are purely state lands?
The ministry says, first of all, strongly refutes the allegation and states that there has been no such sale of property. The facts are that the current developments taking place at the official residence of the late Justice forms part of government's redevelopment plan. Now, the program, it says, dates as far back as 1992, which has since its inception been widely implemented by successive governments within the Greater Accra region, specifically in Kanda, Cantonment, West Range, and Roman Range. Now, on 14th May 2018, Cabinet approved a revised scheme regarding the program to include other neighborhoods such as Osu Ringway, Airport, Residential Area, again, Laboni. Now, for the avoidance of that, the statement strongly says land has not been sold as it is mischievously being alleged and remains the property of the state. The program is rather a cost-effective undertaking which ultimately gives optimal benefit and ensures efficient use of government lands.
And now, what about the concerns, relating to redeveloped lands and also the properties? Will they be handed over to the private sector, or this will go back to, government chest?
Well, it says that currently the ministry is redeveloping 4 such structures, which sit on about 3 acres of land in Roman Range, which formerly served as official residence for a late Supreme Court judge, appeals court judge, and a minister of state and a retired chief director. Directly to the question you asked me, says that upon completion of this particular redevelopment, the 3-acre land will now have 20 housing units for ministers and other senior government officials, and 4 units for superior court judges. A memorandum of understanding for this arrangement with the Judicial Service has since been signed by the Chief Director of the Ministry of Works and Housing and the Judicial Secretary, which paints an impression that when they are done, they're going to hand over these to public servants or people that work closely with government.
Michael Nia Shale, my colleague, looking at the statement from the Ministry of Works and Housing.